can you tell everybody just a little brief thing on like how fasting heal the body naturally?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look in the animal kingdom, animals fast. Soon as they get sick, if you have a dog, the moment that your dog get an upset stomach, it stop eating. And then when it do eat, it eat grass, because grass acts as like a botanical herb to the actual animal to get them to throw up. And what are they throwing up? They throwing up all of the cytotoxins, the endotoxins, and all the worms that's in them in the first place. Fasting has been a healing mechanism since the beginning of time. That's your regular natural medicine, because usually what make us sick in the first place is the things that we putting in our mouths. So when you fast, when you go through fast, there's a 16-hour period where things happen through your fast. So the first 4 to 6 hours, what happen is you become insulin sensitive, because usually a lot of Black Americans are suffering from something called insulin resistance, meaning that you cannot take insulin to get glucose to go into the cell for your body can use that nutrients so you can have energy and vitality to live your everyday life. And this is what you really call diabetes mellitus. Well, what happened when you fast and you're not bringing in all that glucose, and glucose is nothing but sugar. You're not bringing in all of that fructose, which is nothing but sugar. They call them monosaccharides and polysaccharides when you're speaking of in a scientific term. But when you're not bringing those things in, now your body have the ability to awaken these cells called beta cells. And the beta cells is literally in the islands of Langerhans in the pancreas. And this is what produced the insulin. What insulin does is it releases itself into the bloodstream, and it literally acts as a key mechanism to open up the membrane of the cell for glucose can go in. When glucose get in the cell, what happened is you receive this energy, and this energy is how we able to talk and have a conversation with each other right now. And it's called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Without that ATP molecule, you will not have no signal to your cells, which means you have no life. And that's what death is. Cellular death is when you cannot produce no more ATP. Well, what gives you that ATP is insulin being able to unlock the cell to bring the sugar in. So when you fasting and you stop eating, what happened is insulin is able to now be released by the beta cells of the pancreas to allow glucose inside the cells so you can get that energy. That's in the first 4 to 6 hours. Now you start getting up into the 8 to 16th hour of your fast, you go through something called autophagy. If you look at autophagy stands for autophagy. Auto means self, phagy means eating. Your cells begin to eat and degrade or degrade down the bad cells, and it breaks them apart. And all of the parts that can be reused and recycle it back into the bloodstream. But the stuff that's causing, what you will call apoptosis, which means the self-annihilation, or things that, are causing the body to build up and have mucus and oxidation, which means the rusting of the cells. What these do is send it to the lymphatic system, it go to the kidney, and then you wake up and you urinate it out. So fasting literally rebuilds the body. 72 hours into a fast, your whole entire immunological system restarts itself. So, and that's the reason why if you look at any type of cancer, diabetes, any of these diseases, if you just, all you got to do is research the fasting mechanics behind the disease. There's always peer review science articles backing up how fasting actually helped these things.
So is it true that your body go in survival mode and the good cells start eating the bad cells, and that's how you really cure yourself?
And that's exactly what you just said. What that is called, the scientific term. Look, Holla, the scientific term for that is literally called autophagy. Exactly what you just explained is called autophagy. When you stop eating, you allow your body to start cleaning up, because your body can't do two things at once. The body is not going to yield energy, try to break down food in your digestive system and heal itself at the same time. And that's the reason why sleep is so important, because when you sleep, you're what asleep? You're fast asleep. You're in a fasted state. Unless you're a sleepwalker going to the refrigerator eating and can't recall.
That's why you would die from less sleep than not eating.
Exactly.
You'll die quicker from not getting sleep.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because it's impossible to detox and rebuild the molecular structure without sleep. Sleep is what gives you your muscle recovery. You know what I'm saying? You can't rebuild tissues. You can't structure amino acids. You can't properly detox. You can't kick on something called glutathione peroxidase, which is this molecule. It's a highly antioxidative molecule that be released by the liver to help you detox the body. None of this can even kick on if you don't get enough sleep. In fact, if you get less than 6 hours of sleep, your immune system plummeted and your lymphatic system stopped moving. And the lymphatic system is what cleanses the cells of the body. You have 3 different mechanisms. The blood is what feeds the cells of the body all of its phytonutrients. The lymphatic system is what cleanses the cells of the body from all of the toxins. And just by us doing what we're doing now, I'm starting to get a sweat down the back of my neck because I'm utilizing energy. By me doing that, there's a byproduct from that. So the lymphatic system cleanses all of it up, and then the nerve system, it commands and it communicates with the cells of the body. Everybody think that you just got to eat bad to get sick. No, just being alive, you can get sick because there's no such thing as free energy. As long as you breathing, there's a byproduct from it. You breathe in oxygen and you exhale what? Carbon dioxide. That's a byproduct. So, you know, if you work out, if you run, that builds up lactic acid. That's a byproduct. So whether you eating healthy or not, you still are creating these byproducts. These byproducts rust in a basically acidify the cells. And that's where disease really starts in there, because when acid hit a cell, it deprives the cells of what you will call oxygen, or what we'll call anabolic. And then when you get into these anabolic states, you start suffocating the cells. Just imagine somebody putting their hands over your hands in your mouth. You can't breathe. This is happening to us on a cellular level every day, but just because it's not over our hands and our mouth, we're not even thinking about that.
Stuff we put on our skin.
Yes, because your skin is the largest organ of the body. Everything you put in your skin goes into the bloodstream. You see that? So you just got to think about the world we in now, especially 2025. We in America, we got chemtrails, contrails, environmental pollutants, contaminated, fluorinated, chlorinated water, cell phones, which is dirty radiation. Let's not even talk about the plug outlets, which is dirty electricity. Think about the clothes, polyester, your fabrics is not mixed, which bring it down to actual hurts of your body. Your shoes, we got these rubber soles keeping us disconnected from the earth.
So that's automatic. On the soil,
you have to.
Soil and all that.
If you don't, it's going to steal your soul. I call these soul catchers. And that's why I try to keep my shoes off as much as possible on the actual ground, because Mother Earth been healing us for thousands of years, but all of these man-made technologies and these advanced technologies is getting us further and further away from nature.
So I got a big following, and when I start watching you, I start doing a lot of posting. So I did my 21 day. How many times I did a fruit diet? I did a lot of times. I did a lot of 21 days.
I remember you went on the first one.
Yeah, exactly. I just called him every minute. Hey, can I get this? Should I eat? I call my man every day. So a lot of people used to say, I couldn't really explain it like you. I just send them to you or send them your page. But tell the people right now, me doing a fruit diet and me working out, they used to say, how you get your protein? Can you tell them why that's a myth?
Well, protein is a myth. When you look at what a protein is a complex amino acid structures. Amino acids is what we need. Amino acids build the body. The body don't need protein. The body need amino acids. And then what the body do is go through something called methylation and creates its own protein. So with the ideology saying that we need to eat meat or we need to eat all of these things to gather protein, all you have to do is look at the most muscular mammals in the kingdom, the animal kingdom. Most of them eat nothing. They plants. They eat plants. They don't eat fruit. Exactly. All day. Elephant. All day. So you got the largest. The largest will be the elephant. It is a plant-based diet. The oldest is a tortoise on a plant-based diet. The strongest, we would say, is a gorilla, a plant-based diet. So when you look at the oldest, the strongest, and the most thriving animals in the animal kingdom, none of them eat meat. The protein is a myth. Now, am I saying do it exist? Yes, it exists. But saying that our bodies need it and we need to get it from an outside source, that's a complete lie. And this is coming from a certified biochemist. What we need is simple amino acid structures. Then our body go through methylation, where our liver take these amino acid structures and then it put them together and form what you will call a complex amino acid structure, which is a protein. But getting protein sources outside already assembled and bringing them in, you have to think about the last name of it, amino what? Acids. Is very, very acidic. And that's why a lot of bodybuilders that's on all of the proteins and on all of the shakes, their kidneys end up going down and then they come to me. But then you got bodybuilders that know how to eat clean and know these concepts that still build the same amount of muscle. You know what I'm saying? But they more on a plant-based diet and they looking like the gorilla and they looking like the horse and the cow with this tons of massive weight. And at the same time, they don't have a lot of anabolic lactic acid killing them.
We're really eating the middleman.
So while and look, we from the streets. Yeah. We don't like middlemen.
Yeah, so you really gonna eat that when that's getting this protein from that, when you can just go straight to the
source. Yeah. Straight to the source.
And our bodies tell us what we need.
Yes.
I couldn't go catch a chicken and go eat it if nothing was here for me to catch a chicken. Yeah. But I could go climb a tree or grab a fruit Everything's right there for
We
them.
talking about diet and physiology, and it just shows you diet.
I'm sorry, babe. I'm locked in. I'm listening. You gonna have your show. You gonna have your show. I'm locked in, baby. When one of them, yeah. All right.
So we talking about diet, physiology, and anatomy, and this concept is a brilliant concept. I've been teaching about it and learning about this for the last 15 years. And it's if you was born from the womb of your mother completely naked, and you grew up that way, no clothes, you didn't have the understanding of building tools and utensils, how would you get your food? Naturally, you would know that you will go and you will find something growing from the earth, and you will be able to pick and pluck and eat from that. Down when you start to get into advanced civilizations and mankind, if you look at a natural predator in the jungle or in the deserts, they're not vertical and upright like us. They're horizontal. They stay low to the ground. They also have a tail, and this tail keep them straight when they're running up to 60 to 70 miles an hour to track down a prey. They actually got claws. Claws is what rips the actual meat and flesh from the bones. They also have canines, because canines can break into the bone and rip the meat and flesh from the bone. When you look at their intestines is only 10 feet long. Ours is 36 feet long. So they have to eat something and get it in and get it out very fast. If you look at their jaw structure, they cannot pulverize like a human. They only go up and down. So they don't even chew their food. They rip, tear, and swallow. If you rip, tear, and swallow as a human being, you'll be dead. Yeah. So when you look at the physiology and you look at the anatomy of predators and carnivores versus people that do not eat meat, which is humans, we are not. And I'm going to be specific. So-called African Americans is really supposed to be on a plant-based, what I would call vegan diet. We don't have that. Our hydrochloric acid inside of our stomach is not hot enough. Our teeth is not sharp enough, and we just don't have the utensils. Now, and this is what I was just getting into at a lecture that I'm doing tomorrow at Clark University. Yeah, pop up. Now look. Now check this out. If you look at a predator that eat nothing but meat, notice all of his regenerative organ parts, his reproductive organs is in the back. And then they have this shield in the front called the chest. And it's when they stand up like that. So they literally are blocking, their bodies were made to block and protect their internal organs because they running up on big animals. I can't, if I go try to eat a gazelle and it kick me, it's going to kick my chest and I'm cool. Now imagine a human being that's upright and you so vulnerable. Look, your genetic material right here. Imagine going up to a gazelle and trying to kill it and it kick you in your nuts. How you going to reproduce? So even looking at it from that standpoint, you can tell what God created to eat other living things and meats, and you can tell which he didn't. An animal right now cannot go to a tree, use its thumbs and its fingers to pluck an apple from the tree, but we can. So if you look in the fowl kingdom, you have fowls that eat nothing but meat. These are called carnivore fowls, vultures, hawks, eagle. They eat nothing but meat. Then you have another form of fowl that eat nothing but nectar. Hummingbirds. They love the actual nectar and the sop from trees. Then you have other fowls that eat nothing but fruits, the parakeet. In its natural rights, the tunica, in a natural right state, they love nothing but fruits in the jungles. So, and then you got birds that eat nothing but nuts and seeds. So even though we're talking about the bird kingdom, there's many different, based on the geographical location and the genetics of that bird, they all eat different diets. So we can even talk about the mountain lion and the regular lion. We could talk about the grizzly bear and the polar bear. Geographical locations different, genetics is different, even though that they all are a part of these different names and they eat different things. Why do that matter to the animals? But when it comes to human beings, that don't matter at all. We all can just eat the same thing. No.
And that's why, and they eat their food just like it is. You know why? Because that's what they want to eat.
Yeah.
We eat meat and got to put seasoning on it, mayonnaise on it. You know why? Because you don't like what you eat. Yeah. You taking it. If you really like the chicken, why you gotta cook it on 400 degrees and put all that stuff in it if you really like it? You don't. You like the season. So when they be like, holla. So when you eat your Beyond Meat or when you eat some, why? How can you? It ain't the meat. It's the seasoning.
And all of these seasonings are what? Plants, spices. We so much of herbivores that in order for us to even eat the meat, we got to put all the herbs on top of it, and fruit, because you're gonna get your tomatoes, you're gonna put your lettuce on top of it, you're gonna make sure you put all that seasoning on the ground.
I tried to tell her I was convinced her that she did 11 months.
11 months.
Okay.
I stopped meat and all that in 2018, and I never went back. She went with me 11 months. I was proud of her. She gave in. I've been trying to get her back. But I used to tell her, I'm like, Cinnamon, you don't like the meat. You like the seasoning. If you
Fact.
put that on that same
Yeah.
plant-based diet, you're gonna be good.